All right, so I just got notice that we are finally on the air. Sorry for the delay. I'm Alex Weaver. Welcome to Movement Mondays. So we're going to get started here in just a second. You won't have as long as normal since we kind of started a little bit late. So for today's workout, you need a yoga mat or a towel, just something you can do your exercises on, a bottle of water. And today, if you don't want to do push-ups, you're going to have another option, but for that second option, what we're going to be doing is using an object. So you'll see me using either a plate, so I'll show you a plate, or you can use a weight, but so essentially you're going to want something that's between probably 5 and 15 pounds, depending on what feels comfortable for your body, to do a curl and press motion with. So, like I said, that doesn't have to be a weight necessarily. It can be like a container of juice. It can be a heavy object. It can be really anything. And if not, you can do push-ups for that, but that's all you'll need for today's workout. So we're going to start here in just a second. Let me just double check the stream, and we will get started. And like I said, sorry for the delay. We had some technical difficulties, but we are hopefully all set now. All right, so we are going to get started. So let me make sure. So like always, if you have questions or you need me to repeat something, feel free to drop a comment. I check the comments frequently. So I will be sure to repeat if you need. All right, so we're going to start with some walkouts today. So you're going to walk your hands all the way out in front of you into a plank position, and then walk them all the way back. Reach for the ceiling and repeat. We're going to do this 5 times. Great. So you can go ahead and actually come into a kneeling position instead of standing up on that last one. And we're going to do a set of cat-cows. So we're going to inhale up into our spine. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Great. So we're going to go ahead and if you have, so either a chair, it can be like the edge of a sofa, really anything that you can put your hands up on. We're going to get into a little bit of a lat stretch. So you're going to put your hands on whatever it is you have available and then sit back. Feel that stretch. So you feel that stretch into your back, under your armpits, maybe in your chest, depending on where you're tight. Just sit back, breathe into that stretch. Come up, reset, and come back into that stretch. Perfect. So we're going to come back over to our plank position, and I believe we did this last week, but you're going to bring one foot forward into a runner's stretch, and then open up toward that leg. So we're going to do this whichever side. Switching sides each time. And on this last rep, you bring your legs back, and you can sit back into child's pose for a second. So maybe just take a couple deep breaths. And then we're going to come on up. We're going to stand up. Actually, I lied. We're not going to stand up. We're going to lay on our back. So we want our feet to be hip-width apart. Shoulders pressed into the floor. Hands can be at our side. You want to primarily drive through your heels for these. So you're engaging your core, squeezing your glutes and hamstrings, and you're pressing up, holding for 2 seconds, coming back down. We're going to do a set of 16 of these. And I think this is the last one, but I'm going to admit that I definitely lost count during that. So now we're actually going to stand up. So we're going to do the squat stretch. So you're going to want to stand a little wider than your typical squat stance. Sit down deep into a squat. Grab your toes. Elbows stay on the inside of your knees. Push them out. Try to keep your chest up as much as possible. Really stretching those hips. And then we're going to come up into a hamstring stretch. You just rest your hands on the floor. If your hands can't reach the floor, that's okay too. Just hang. And then you're sitting back into that squat stretch. This time, maybe making a little extra effort to drive those knees out. Shifting your weight back and forth a little bit. Feeling while you're tight. And then coming back up into that hamstring stretch. And coming all the way up. Grab onto something if you need to for your balance. We're going to pull one leg back for a quad stretch. I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but it is hot today, so if you are in a space that's not very well air conditioned or isn't air conditioned at all, be mindful of taking breaks, drinking water, listen to your body. Switch sides. Last but not least, go ahead and get that calf stretch. You can do that calf stretch by putting your foot against something, just leaning in. You can either keep your knee locked or unlock your knee. Depending on where you're tight, will depend on which version of the stretch feels more impactful for you. Switch sides. All right. So we're going to do a set of arm circles, just some big circles coming forward. And backwards. And then roll your shoulders out a little bit. You need to stretch your neck. Do a gentle stretch. So one arm behind the back, pulling away. Pulling the head down a little bit. Sides. Pull the head down. All right. So that's it for our warm up today. So grab a sip of water. We are going to start circuit 1 here in a second. So today's circuit 1 is a little more low key than last week's, which was definitely a little bit intense. So for today, circuit 1, we're going to do bird dogs, R's, Y's, and T's, stationary plank, static plank, and jumping jacks. So we'll start with the bird dogs. So for the bird dogs, you are in that same position you were in for cat-cows. You are extending, you're keeping that core engaged. You're extending opposite arm, opposite leg, just as far as they'll go while you're maintaining that core, and alternating sides for the duration. For the I's, Y's, and T's, we recently did YTAs. I's, Y's, and T's are super similar with some slight variations. So you are going to be laying on your stomach. You can put your head on the floor if you want. So we're going to start I, Y, and T. So you're squeezing your shoulder blades to lift your arms off the floor. So we'll do those for a set time. The plank today. So for plank, you can always do whatever variation feels best for your body. So some options are going to be, you can do full extension plank on your hand like this. You can do on your knees like this. You can do elbows, or you can do like this. So for all of those variations, what you want to make sure is that you're keeping that core engaged. So you don't want to be like this, right? You want to keep that core engaged so that you're not allowing that low back to arch. If your low back starts to bother you, take a second, rest, reset, and then restart your plank. And then, last but not least, jumping jacks are exactly as you would have imagined. Make sure there's nothing you can hit your hands on, and just your standard jumping jack. So we'll do all of those. For timed rounds, we'll rest and repeat. So we're going to start in 30 seconds with the bird dogs. So you have 15 seconds. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. and rest. Great job. So next up, you are laying on your stomach. You have those I's, Y's, and T's. So give everyone a few seconds. You have 10 seconds. Make sure you have room for your arms. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. And rest. All right, great job. So next up, we're going to start our plank. So you can stay in that position. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. Fifteen seconds. Three, 2, 1, and rest. So we give everyone a few seconds, then we have our jumping jacks. So you have 15 more seconds. Five seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. And rest. Great job. So grab some water. To another round of circuit 1. For those of you who are keeping track of the temperature in my gym, today I do have some AC, so it is not, fortunately it is not like 97 degrees in here, but even with the AC blowing in from the other room, we're at like 82 today, so it's not terrible, it's not great. So as a reminder, drink water as you need, pay attention to your body's needs, take breaks, and it's hot, so keep up with that hydration today. So give everyone about 25 more seconds, and we are back with those bird dogs. So 15 seconds. And go. Make sure to maintain that core. So keep the tension in your core. Try not to let your back arch excessively. And rest. So you can lay down on your stomach. Next up, you have the I's, Y's, and T's. One thing I forgot to mention, if you want, you can do thumbs up for the I and the Y, thumbs down for the T. It helps me with my making sure I'm activating the right part of my shoulders. So that might be a helpful cue for you. So ready and go. So thumbs up I, thumbs up Y, thumbs down T. One more. And we have our plank next. So you can stay on your mat. Give everyone a few seconds. We have another 45-second plank. Remember, adjust this plank to what feels best for your body. And again, as you need breaks, feel free to take them. 5 seconds. And go. Five seconds. 3, 2, 1, and rest. So go ahead and stand up. We have another set of those jumping jacks. And we'll start here in about 5 seconds. All right, so ready and go. Grab some water. So circuit 2. So those of you who jumped on late, circuit 2, you have the option for one of these movements using an object or a weight, or doing push-ups. So if you don't have an object, I would grab it during this break. Ideally something you can hold with both of your hands that weighs between maybe like 5 and 15 pounds, depending on what feels like a good weight for you. So for circuit 2, we are starting off with toe touch crunches. You are laying on your back, your legs up, crunching towards your toes, just like that. If you have to bend your knees a little because your hamstrings are tight, that's totally okay. And if you can't touch your toes, just crunch up towards them. So you don't have to actually touch your toes. Secondly, we have squats. So if you are using an object for the third movement, you can also use that object to hold during squats. So I'm going to grab an object. So if you want, you can hold the object in front of you, like so. You can do your squats holding that object in front of you, just like that. So for squats, remember, you want to keep that core engaged. Your hips come back a little bit, knees come forward. So really sitting into that squat. If you feel like you're having difficulty balancing, you can either put something on your heels to help take the angle off your calf. So I'll show with this yoga mat. So it's just a rolled up yoga mat. You put your heels on it so that they're a little elevated, and then do your squats like this. Or you can just squat to like a bench or a chair. So just like this. So if you lose your balance, you just sit down. So that's going to be movement 2. Movement 3 is, as we discussed, you're going to be holding an object. So you're going to be doing curl to presses. So I'm holding a weight. I'm going to curl using my bicep and then press overhead. So I'm trying to, when I press overhead, put almost like my ear to my armpit. So I'm pressing straight overhead. So curling and pressing, keeping that core engaged. So you don't want to, when you're in that overhead position, you don't want to be arched. You want to keep that core engaged. If you don't want to do that, you're more than welcome to do either regular push-ups or kneeling push-ups. Just make sure you're keeping that core engaged for those push-ups. Elbows coming out at a 45-degree angle. You don't want your elbows to be way up here. Third and final movement in this round is going to be leg raises. So there's a lot of core in today's workout. So take breaks as you need. For leg raises, you can put your hands under your butt. You're going to start with both legs up, come down, and back up. Alternately, you can do one leg at a time, just like this. So you're keeping that core engaged, so your back is staying pressed to the ground, and you're not letting that low back arch and compensate. So that is our second round. So we're starting with toe touch crunches, and we'll start in just a few seconds. All right. So, ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. $15 seconds. And rest. So next up, we have those squats. Remember, if you want to hold an object in these squats, you can. or you can just do body weight, and feel free to modify them as you need to. All right. So we'll start in 10 seconds. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. Good job. And rest. So next up, remember we have either curl to presses, or we have, you can just do curls, or you can just do presses, or you can do push-ups of any variation. So we have 10 seconds, and we're back at it. So ready, and go. Good job. All right. So drop that weight. We have, all we have left is leg raises. And you get a break. So for leg raises, remember, put your hands on your butt. You can also do single or both legs. It is up to you. So start in a few seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. Remember to breathe. And rest. Great job. So grab some water. We're going to repeat that whole round. We got a few more things left after that, and then we are done. All right. So you got a few more seconds, and we are back with those toe touch crunches. 15 seconds. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. And rest. Woo. All right, so 30 seconds of rest. More like 25, 20. For our next move, which is those squats. Remember, you can add weight if you want. Are we ready? And go. And rest. Grab a sip of water if you want. Okay, so next up you have either the curls presses with an object, or you can do curls or presses independently. And then, or you can do push-ups of any variation. So are we ready? So grab your weight, we're almost done. And go. And rest. So you put that weight down. All right, so last but not least, we have those leg raises. So here in a second. Ready, and go. And rest. So grab one last water break before we finish up. All right. So we're going to finish with 16 super people, 20 bicycle crunches, and 40 Russian twists. So let's start with those super people. So we're going to lay on our stomachs. We'll give everyone just a few more seconds. All right, so super people who are laying on your stomach, You are squeezing your posterior chain, so your glutes, hamstrings back, everything coming up, just like this, holding, and back down. We're gonna do that for 16 reps. We ready? And go. Good job. All right, so flip on over. So bicycle crunches. So if you struggle with the bicycle crunches, you can also do regular crunches with one leg extended, so just like this. You can do 10 per side, just like that. If you want to do the bicycle crunches, you're going to bring both your legs up like this, and you are opposite leg to opposite elbow. So just like this, keeping that core engaged. So whichever you choose to do, you can do 8 per side of the regular crunches, or 20 total of the bicycle crunches. Ready, and go. I just realized that bicycle crunches are way faster than regular crunches. So if you are doing regular crunches, just go ahead and stop. All right. So last but not least, we have 40 Russian twists, which if you'd like to add a small weight to, you can, or you can do them without weights. So I'm going to hold a small weight. Russian twists, you can either keep your feet on the ground and lean back slightly and then rotate, or you can bring your legs up and rotate just like that. So we're going to do 40 total. So if you're crossing your legs, you might notice that I switch halfway which leg is crossed over which. You don't really have to do that, but I like to. So yeah, so let's finish this up. So the last thing for 40 reps, and go. And that is it for today. So give yourself a pat on the back for doing class on the hottest day thus far. And hopefully I will see you all next Monday at 6 p.m. Again, sorry to anyone who tuned in early and we weren't able to start right on time. We had some technical difficulties. We sorted it out. It was fine. But anyways, I'm Alex Weaver. Thank you for coming. Hope to see you next week, same time, same place. Have a good week.